As the sun settled upon the great desert, Lapsus and his men decided to camp for the night amidst ancient ruins. The cold metallic walls protected them from the relentless wind that whistled through the cracks in the surface of the long collapsed structure. Shortly after they set up their camp, 3 figures emerged from the darkness. A woman trailed by 2 tall bone dogs. I know these beasts, Lapsus thought. She must be a messenger from the Shek mercs. As the trio closed onto the camps, Lapsus shouted, "Come no closer and state your business." "We've met before, my dear Lapsus. I'm on Rio. Helped your boy Hjert out when he was in trouble." "I remember you, yes. Were you the one that made Ghost disappear?" "Ghost is just fine. He just had to remember whom he serves." "What about Misery and Dave, Andricor, Eric and Damien? Are they just fine as well?" "You'd have to ask around slave camps about them. They got what they deserved." "Got what they deserved? You sold them into slavery. They were proper men. Just worked for some cats like everyone else. They did not deserve to be slaves." "Do I look like I care a thing about them?" "No. And besides, Stain told us all about your treatment of people caged in your stinky refuge." "What? Who is Stain?" "Exactly. You wouldn't even know, cause you never treated her like a human anyway. Enough talk now. My mistress is waiting just a day's walk north of here, and she's ready to parley with you. It's time we bury the hatchet and cease these hostilities. She was the one who started all this. I never did anything to provoke her, and she ordered a kidnapping of one of my people first, and then sold 5 of them into slavery? And now she wants to talk peace? Oh, we'll talk alright, but I want to see some justice for what she's done." "Be careful how you address my lady. You peasants know nothing of proper manners. Now follow. I'll lead you to a meeting spot." "Fine then. Let me talk to my men, and then we move." "Just make it quick." As Lapsus turned to his men, he saw them already preparing for the trip. They didn't ask questions of him. They quietly packed their gear and stood up, ready to follow. He couldn't believe their blind faith. He's made so many mistakes. Mistakes that got him injured, kidnapped, even killed. Yet, still they followed. "You heard what she had to say. I don't like this any more than you do. But if you're to find our missing comrades, we best follow her. Pack up now. We leave in 5. Also, Bogart, walk with me for a sec." "Sure, Chief. What's up?" "I don't trust her. You think you could do what we talked about?" "Now? I can pull some strings, but it might take a while." "See what you can do overnight, and then link with us in the morning. We'll need you." "Misery! Misery! Stop, will you?" "What do you want?" "We've been walking for the whole day now. I beg you, stop. Rest." "If you need to rest, then rest. But I will not wait on you." "Come on, girl, what has happened to you? You haven't eaten the whole day, and you barely drank a sip of water. Your body is eating you from the inside out, and you're just ignoring it." "My body is just a pathetic vessel for my raging soul now. Soon, I will not need it anymore. Vengeance is the only sustenance I require." "What has happened to you, Misery? Can you not hear yourself? We escaped slavery together. We survived the desert with no food, and this is you now? You're stronger than that." "Revenge was my only thought since I got chained and taken from refuge. I was promised safety. For the first time in my life, I let myself relax, trusting that Hiver to protect me. What a fool I was." "Misery, no! Lapsus gave us a chance at a new life, at redemption. It's not his fault." "Careful now, Dave. Do not try to defend him." This seems like a bad idea to me. You afraid of some sand ninjas again? I'd just like to know what I'm getting myself into. And this business with the fucking Shek mercs have been fishy since the beginning. He's not wrong, Jack, you know? I don't like this. Just blindly following someone who nobody here can trust seems like a terrible idea. You think Lapsus doesn't feel the same way? Why do you think he sent Bogart away? In truth, I do not know. Hey, quiet, you fools! Do not speak of that! Oh, I think I get it now. Still, doesn't make me feel any better. I still think this is a bad idea. Lapsus's men felt something was wrong, but still, they marched together as a team. They faced down many dangers before, and they knew that only together they can prevail. They trusted Lapsus and his judgment, and most importantly, they wanted to resolve this issue that has been plaguing them for more than a month now. It was time for the final confrontation, and even though most feared what's going to happen, they were also excited to finally meet the mysterious mistress. Misery scanned the horizon in silence. She felt him somewhere beyond those dunes. He was much closer than she imagined, but she couldn't pinpoint his location precisely. So close, but still so far away. Her face seemed peaceful, relaxed, but on the inside her mind churned, her heart burning with the red-hot revenge. Her face was just a mask belonging to old Misery. Weak Misery. She was no longer that. Her silent reverie was broken by Dave's panting. They had to stop again for a moment so he could drink. She thought of leaving him behind many times now, but she owed him for getting her out of her cage. But her patience was wearing thin.
What are you doing back here? You know what Sarge would do if he saw you waltzing back into his town. I thought you were smarter than this.
It's nice seeing you too, my old friend.
Why are you here?
Well, you owe me, and I came to collect.
After all these years, huh?
After all these years. Know that I would never have come back if it wasn't urgent. How many men will follow you?
I can gather 20 by tomorrow evening. Can't promise more.
No, I need whoever you can get now, and we leave right away.
What? It's early fucking morning. Do I look like a magician to you?
Just get whoever you can, and meet me at North Gate in 30.
Why the urgency? What shitstorm did you get yourself into?
The less you know, the better, old friend. Misery had enough. He was just slowing her down. She could barely remember why she was allowing him to follow. Who was he, anyway? Do you work for him still? Trying to slow me down? Tell me! What? What are you talking about, Misery? Do not lie to me. I can see through you. He told you to follow me, didn't he? Are you here to prevent me from exacting my revenge? You're weak. Misery, please. Stop. Let's take a break. Just listen to yourself. You're sounding insane right now. Insane? With a scream, Misery pulled out her long katana and launched herself onto surprised Dave, who barely had time to pull out his blade. He tried to block her attacks, but she was coming in fierce. But their fight lasted only for a couple of moments. They exchanged strikes in a swift succession, nobody coming on top. Blocking one more attack, Dave disengaged and put his hands up, yelling, "Exquisite! Stop!" Misery stopped, shock written all over her face. Yes, Exquisite. I know your real name. This isn't you. You're so much more than the revenge that drives you. She stood silent, weighing his words. Please, just listen to me. You don't need to do this. We can disappear in the desert, and no one will ever know. No one will ever find us. We could go to World's End, or even beyond, to Mongrel. No one will ever find us there. Please, I beg of you, stop this madness. But Misery just stood there, looking at him. not saying a word. She already forgot who the man was that she fought. Just a stranger now to her, an obstacle on her way to revenge. "Weak, don't try to stop me," she said, as she sheathed her blade and walked deeper into the desert. She had a hiver to hunt, and she was getting close. Morning dawned upon the dusty dunes of the great desert, and the relentless sun began to burn the tired Lapsus and his men. They'd been marching throughout the whole night, and it was beginning to show. Lapsus was thinking of asking Onryo to stop for a short break when she suddenly paused, her eyes scanning the dunes around them. "Everything okay?" Lapsus asked as he stopped beside her. "This is the place," she answered. "Wait here. I'll be right back." With those words, she disappeared over the hill, the two bone dogs trailing her with ease. "I don't like this. This is the perfect place for an ambush." "You are correct. We shouldn't stay in this ravine. Rake, move up that hill. See what you can see. I hope Bogart shows up soon." "We should move as well. We're sitting ducks here, Lapsus." "Agreed. Take Exo and Steel and set up a perimeter. We'll set up camp on that ridge over there." "You got it." But as soon as Apollo uttered these words, the sands around them became alive. Soldiers crested the rise to their left, blades at the ready. At the spot where Onryo disappeared, a masked woman emerged. "It's time we spoke." Lapsus followed the Scorchlander woman to a spot on the other side of the dune. "Leave us!" she yelled to the two guards awaiting there, and without saying a word they left, joining Onryo some distance away. "So, why all these theatrics? Why not meet in the city, grab a nice cold drink in shade instead of running around the scorching desert?" "I prefer not to be seen whining and dining peasants." "Peasants, you say? Care to explain why a fine lady like you would ever care about what this poor peasant does? Why go out of your way to make my life miserable? Kidnap my friends? Sell them to slavery?" "You cut into my business when you started selling huge amounts of skins for ridiculously low prices. I couldn't let that stand. All I wanted was to warn you, get you out. But then these fucking Shek mercs screwed it up massively. I had to spend more and more resources to contain the situation. And no matter what I did, you didn't want to give up. So here we are."
"I don't like this one bit."
"Yeah, one thing we can finally agree on. This is fucking balls." Apollo stood up and walked to the edge of the ravine, looking up at the shack.
"What is this? What's going on over here?" "None of your business, Flatskin. Move away and shut up."
"How about I shut up you, pig? Was it not enough that I beat your champion once? Do I have to do it again?"
"One more word out of your mouth and—"
"And what? What are you gonna do? Piss your pants again after you lose?"
With a roar, Vision unsheathed his giant sword and charged at Apollo. The rest of the mercs followed suit, grabbing their blades and attacking Lapsus's men.
Hearing Vision roar, Neko froze. "Go check what this is all about now," she yelled at Onryo and her guards. "What's going on? That was not one of my men who yelled back there. Sound like your men are charging in." "I know as much as you do. This was not the plan." "Not the plan? I can hear them fight behind that ridge. You ambushed us here with false promises of peace, and now you think I'm just gonna sit here and wait for your man to slaughter mine?" Lapsus stood up, unsheathing his weapon. "I've got enough of your treatment, mistress. You think you stand a chance against me, foolish peasant? Well, bring it in then." "I hope we're not fucking too late. Charge in there, man! Help them. She was attracted by the sound of a fierce melee happening nearby. She knew Lapsus had to be somewhere in the fray. She could not let anyone else get to him. He was hers, and hers alone to kill. She saw him squabble with the woman who sold her to slavery. That one will be the next one to get it, Misery thought, as she silently crept towards them. Mistress's attacks were fast, and she came at him with a ferocity he did not expect. He was being hard-pressed just to defend himself, barely blocking her strikes. But Lapsus fought many a battle in his past, and soon he recognized a pattern in her swings. With swiftness she didn't see coming, he parried her next attack, and a fierce counterattack he disarmed her, leaving Neko empty-handed and shocked to see her blade flying from her hands. Standing above the mistress, a person who has been making his life a living hell for the last month, Lapsus was on the verge of finishing her. Delivering that one last strike would be so easy, but this wasn't him anymore. He left the United Cities to live a peaceful life. Call your men back. Tell them to stand down. Let's finish this madness and walk our own ways. This world is big enough for the both of us. And what guarantee do I have you won't execute me right here, right now? You have my word, because I need you to tell me where I can find my people you sold into slavery. I'm going to free them. As Lapsus said that, he noticed a shadow creeping on him from the corner of his eye. But he was too slow to react. He saw the shock on the mistress's face as he tried to turn around, and then the world went dark.